It's late evening at Horizon Broadcasting Network. Phones ring. Keyboards clack. The studio lights make the air feel warm and a little burnt, like coffee left on the plate too long. At the anchor desk sits Zara, 29, calm voice, steady eyes. She lives for the red light on the camera. When it blinks on, her whole body settles. She reads the news like nothing can shake her. Behind the lens is a quiet cameraman, Callum Reeve. He checks focus, slides the tripod, says almost nothing. Most people barely notice him. Zara does. She can feel when he's there. He has that kind of stillness that somehow fills a room. Off camera, Zara's life is messy. For nearly 2 years, she dated a city lawyer named David Hunt. At parties, they looked perfect. Sharp suits, clean lines, private smiles. But behind doors, the arguments got hot. Neighbors heard shouting through walls. Once a friend saw David grip her wrist too hard. One night, a door slammed so hard the frame cracked. Zara ended it. "We're done." David didn't accept it. He waited outside the studio, smoking in the dark. "You can't just walk away," he said. "I already did," she said back, and walked past. When she went inside, Callum was by the door with a tripod, watching. Later, as she stacked her scripts, he set a coffee on her desk. "You don't deserve that," he said, quiet. She gave a polite smile. "Thanks." "I'm fine," but he kept watching her from behind the camera. Always close. Always quiet. December 12th. The air in Hampstead is hard and dry. Zara leaves work late, scarf tight around her neck, heels clicking fast on the pavement. At midnight, she slips through the iron gate of Brookstone Court. The night guard, Robert Keane, lifts a hand. "Evening, Miss Whitfield." She smiles, climbs to the second floor, and unlocks her flat. Her shoes go neatly by the door, coat on the hook. A lavender candle burns low, kettle on. Steam curls into the cold. She pours tea and sinks into the sofa. For the first time all day, her shoulders drop. She breathes. The cup warms her palms. The candle smells clean. It feels like safety. At 12:47 a.m., shadows climb the wall outside the complex. 15 men in dark jackets and balaclavas drop into the courtyard. Their boots make a soft crunch on the gravel. The leader raises a hand. Everyone moves at once. Robert steps forward. "Who's there?" The answer is a single gunshot. Robert falls. The other guards are rushed, wrists tied, mouths gagged, shoved into the storage shed. The men split in pairs and head for the stairwells. In apartment 9A, a young couple is yanked from their bed. The husband kneels with his hands on his head. A robber rips the wife's earrings out. She cries out. In apartment 10C, a 16-year-old lifts a cricket bat. A masked man laughs, snatches it away, shoves the boy into the wall, pulls the PlayStation cables with one hard rip. In 11B, old Mr. Collins is dragged by his dressing gown until his safe key shakes loose from his hand. Coins and notes clatter into a sack. The stairwell turns into a pipe for sound, doors breaking, drawers slamming, people begging. In apartment 12B, Zara's teacup starts to tremble on the table. She gets up slowly and parts the curtain with 2 fingers. Down below, her neighbor Margaret Lane, retired actress, big laugh, kind eyes, gets dragged into her own sitting room by 2 masked men. They yank her rings off. She cries. One of them slaps her. The crack of it shoots up the stairwell like a whip. Margaret crumples. Zara gasps and covers her mouth. Her chest tightens. She grabs her phone. No bars. She moves to the bedroom window, stands on tiptoe, holds the phone high. Nothing. The boots are on the stairs now. Heavy. Closer. Across the hall in 12A, Andrew Parker tries to hold his door. Crowbars slam into the frame. "Get out!" he shouts. Then a crash, glass breaking. Something heavy topples. His voice cuts off. Zara's lock starts to rattle. Metal grinds. Splinters skip across the floor like dry leaves. "Kick it again," a voice says, low and rough. Zara backs into her bedroom. She tears the curtains aside and shoves the window up. The outside air is a blade. Her breath turns white and thin. 2 floors down is the stone courtyard. It does not care who falls on it. Behind her, the doorframe groans. A crowbar's tip pops through the wood. The hinge screams. Boots hit the floorboards of her flat. A drawer skids. Someone swears. Zara climbs onto the sill. For 1 second, she looks out into the black. It smells like cold metal and smoke. The door bursts. She jumps. Her scream tears the night in half. The thud that follows is heavy and hollow. Then silence. People pour into the corridor and into the yard. Andrew stumbles out with blood sliding down his temple. Margaret sobs, robe torn at the shoulder. In the courtyard, Zara lies on the stones. Her breaths are shallow. Her fingers twitch. Someone shouts for an ambulance. Quietly, somewhere inside the building, a short, sharp whistle blows. The men fade away, like they were never there. By dawn, Zara is gone. If you're enjoying this story, and you like dark, strange, and mysterious stories told in this format, please take a second right now and subscribe, so you don't miss the next one. Detectives flood Brookstone Court. Blue tape, camera flashes, front doors standing open like broken teeth. Statements come in pieces. Black masks, dark jackets, guns, knives, sacks. No faces, no names. Then the whispers start to pick one name anyway. David Hunt. They sit him in a small interview room under a buzzing light. He looks like a man trying to swallow fire, jaw tight, shirt collar damp. He keeps rubbing a thumbnail with his other thumb until the skin goes pink. "Mr. Hunt," the detective says, "you and Miss Whitfield argued often." "We argued," David says. "Yes." "You pushed her once." He stares at the table. "I regret that." "Where were you on the night of December 12th? Brighton, hotel conference. He looks up, angry now. "Shouting isn't murder." There is a pause, long enough to hear the HVAC hum. "Did you ever buy her jewelry?" His eyes flick away. He swallows. "Yes." "What?" "An emerald necklace. Custom work. Paris." He breathes out. "I gave it to her when she got promoted." The item is logged as missing from Zara's flat. Weeks pass. The case cools. Then a call. A pawn shop in Brixton has an emerald necklace the owner didn't feel good about. He wrote down the tiny serial number on the clasp before he paid out. CCTV shows a hooded man. You can't see his face. But when he slides the necklace across the counter, his sleeve rides up. There's a black tattoo curling over the wrist bone. It looks like a thorn branch or a broken circle. It's quick, 2 frames, and it's gone. The serial number sends detectives to a Paris jeweler. They pull the ledger from a locked drawer. There it is, one of a kind, bought 2 years ago by D. Hunt. Inside the clasp, on the metal you never see, the engraver's loop shows 2 letters the size of a grain of rice. ZW. Okay, it's Zara's, but the hooded man wasn't David. David has no tattoos. The shop owner also remembers a detail that seems small but isn't. The seller wore workman's gloves, but took one off to sign. He had a tiny crescent scar under the thumb, like from a box cutter years ago. Now the search shifts. The team pulls local employment records to match two things: wrist tattoo, thumb scar. It takes days. They come up empty. Then a junior officer thinks sideways. What if the man isn't on a criminal list? What if he's in a building Zara knows? They run staff files at Horizon Broadcasting: cameras, riggers, floor managers, editors. They slow the CCTV frames again. Freeze. Compare. The tattoo matches one man: Callum Reeve. The quiet cameraman. The one who brought coffee. The one who watched. The one who blended in so well no one can even remember what color his eyes are. Officers get a warrant. In his flat, they find a duffel. Inside, gloves with grit in the seams that match the gravel at Brookstone Court. Cable ties. A list of makes and models of home safes. A folded sheet of paper with the layout of the complex, hand-drawn from memory, with X's on 10 doors and a circle around 1, 12B. On his phone are maps. Routes for the guards. Zara's schedule screenshots. In the Notes app, a line written weeks earlier: if she says no, move plan forward. The robbery wasn't random. It was cover. The gang was real, the loot was real, the fear was real. But the circle around 12B was the reason for the night. Zara had told him no. He had decided that meant yes, but later, and by force. The thing that finally broke the case wasn't clever police work alone. It was a gift. An emerald necklace bought in love, engraved with her initials, carried through a pawn shop by a quiet man who thought gloves and a hood would hide him. A serial number. A 2-frame flash of ink. A tiny scar. All of it led back to the person who had been right there the whole time, 3 feet from Zara's face, just beyond the lens. 2 men moved around Zara. One loved her too hard and too loud. One watched her too quietly and waited. The first was suspected. The second was guilty. And that is how a news anchor who looked safe on every TV in Britain was taken on a winter night. Not by a stranger in a dark alley, but by a shadow who lived on the other side of the camera, and was finally unmasked by the shine of a necklace under pawnshop lights.